while trying to catch the public pulse by visiting places, walking around this city and the rest of the country, and covering protests, I often wonder. I ask this question myself: who is happy with this government? By the way, this government means government of all hues and shades that claim to be ruling this magnificent country. I start this presentation with this question: who exactly is happy with this government? Uh, the picture, the graph that you see in the background is from today's protest, the protest of Gen Z, this new generation. It has been like years since I just passed that station of life. Uh, when we were growing up in the 90s, we had like hope for this country that this untried, untainted, and uncorrupted political leadership will just do great things for the country and the peoples because it was untainted. It was, they were our poop knights with knights on a shining armor and knights riding those white horses with their dangling swords that will just finish the rule of injustice and all that. We used to have such rosy dreams. But in the course of time, they got corrupted, they got tainted, whole lot of scams uh, dogged this country, and then came this Maoist insurgency that wreaked havoc, that left behind a trail of death and devastations, incalculable losses, both of lives and properties. So, in the name of revolution and whatnot, in the name of all those changes, in the sacred name of just bringing democracy, human rights, good governance, and whatnot, all those dreams, nothing left of those dreams now. Uh, this cyclic, this vicious cycle of instability, corruption, toppling of government, toppling of regimes, and a new regime taking over, and then that regime also getting corrupted, and just uh, another wave of change, and this never-ending cycle, and no governance, no good governance, no democracy, dictatorship raising its ugly head, dictatorships raising their ugly heads in the guise of democracy and human rights and social changes and whatnot. That is what has been happening for decades on end. We are like just no longer exactly the youth of this country. Though technically we have not become the senior citizens, but we are no longer in our primes. And I think it is time for our political leadership, having ruled for decades since the 1990s, to hang their boots. That will be the greatest service they will be doing for the country and the peoples. And they must allow some independent investigations into their ill-gotten wealth and whatnot if they want to do something for the country, if they want to just repay the country for all that they have gotten, power and money and whatnot. They should subject themselves to independent investigations. They should just quit at this moment because like they have been there for like decades on end. and the country is getting from bad to worse during their rule. So it's time they just opted out and they subjected themselves to independent investigations into their ill-gotten wealth. That can be the remedy, but I wonder if they will do that. I'm 100% sure that they won't do that unless these kinds of protests of non-political forces makes them to just quit power and just subject themselves to independent investigations and stringent action if they are found guilty. With this, I start today's program. By the way, if you have not subscribed to this channel, I request that you do. We are trying to promote citizen journalism. We are trying to be your true voice. And every subscription, every comment, every like counts. So I request you to just stay with us. Let me start today's program, today's presentation. As another festive season looms amid an all-pervasive pessimism due mainly to an inept clique bent on silencing dissent through a crackdown on social media on one pretext or the other. There's precious little to celebrate. Like in the past, the Ministry of Industries, Commerce and Supplies has decided to sell edibles at subsidized rates. At subsidized rates through thinly spread outlets of the Salt Trading Corporation and Food Management and Trading Company in a ritualistic fashion. This perhaps to give an impression that a heavily taxed people are, in fact, surviving on subsidized food. What a mockery of the taxes that we pay. One of the highest taxes in the world, that is, multiple taxes and whatnot, that robs us of our hard-earned monies. What for? For the luxurious life of these corrupt political lot and their progenies. For this decision to sell edibles at subsidized rates during the festive season, the outlets under the Food Management and Trading Company will give rupees 5 off on each kilogram of rice, pulses, wheat, sugar, and beans, along with 7 rupees off on each kg of beaten rice, flour, processed flour, and every liter of edible oil. Indigenous products from Karnali will cost a bit less during this season due to a waiver of 10 rupees per kg on Jumli Marsi rice. Hope you have just not forgotten the famous rice from Jumla. It's quite delicious. Foxtail millet, beans, proso millet, buckwheat, and naked barley. What's more, the same discount will apply to cumin seeds, tea, coriander, and live goats, as well as sheep. The Food Management and Trading Company will operate outlets as per the scheme in 46 districts. What for? To make these subsidized edibles available in most parts of the country, whereas the Salt Trading Corporation will do the same. It will sell subsidized foodstuff through its 15 shops, including in Kathmandu and beyond. The Salt Trading Corporation will provide a discount of rupees 2 per kg on table salt, Rs 5, rupees 5 on sugar, and on every kilogram of sugar, Rs 7 rupees on beaten rice per kg, that is, pulses, flour, and processed flour, as well as edible oils. In terms of edible oils, it will be the discount will be on 7 rupees off on every liter of edible oils. I mean, the government decision gives one and all an impression that food inflation is a seasonal phenomenon in this land, naturally suitable for all sorts of crops, that food adulteration and black marketing occur only during the festivities, and that the domestic market is on autopilot at all other times with no need at all for market monitoring and regulation. I have no idea what kind of matibhram, that is a Nepali word, Sanskrit word, in fact, that is a foggy state of mind, a foggy mind phenomenon, if you will, self-induced or otherwise. What kind of matibhram, a foggy state of mind, envelopes our politicians and government employees once they reach higher echelons, making them forget that food insecurity has been a constant in Nepal for decades. In the 2024 Global Hunger Index, for example, the country ranked 68 out of the 127 countries with sufficient data to calculate 2024 GHI scores. With a score of 14.7, Nepal has a level of hunger that is moderate, which is no badge of honor for an agrarian economy. These people, these politicians and bureaucrats remind me of a ruler who, when visiting a famine-hit far western region of the country during the Panchayat era, wanted to know from his hangers-on, can the people not even afford milk and rice? That is what the ruler asked his hangers-on during a famine-hit far western region of this country. The current crop of political leadership and the current crop of bureaucracy appears no different, oblivious to the plight of everyday citizens of this country that have been reeling under food inflation and all other sorts of inflation for like decades on end. Our leaders were once socialists, communists, revolutionaries, so on and so forth, weren't they? They were the proverbial knights in shining armor. They were, as I told you earlier, the proverbial knights in shining armor, tasking themselves with the onerous responsibility of rescuing the country from a bunch of evil rulers. How can these people forget about a hungry humanity that they have been steering from one futile revolution to another for ages, just like that? During their struggles for their cherished systems, there was a time, there was a time when our politicos did not have decent clothes to wear on, and even a square meal a day used to be a luxury. That there was a time when decent clothes, a pair of decent clothes, and square meal a day used to be a luxury for these people during their like struggle for higher ideals like democracy, human rights, the end of corruption, good governance, and whatnot. Apparently, these real characters of real rags to riches stories have forgotten those days of hardships. Most of our bureaucrats are also from agricultural families. They are from like farming families, aren't they? They were not born with silver spoons in their hands, were they? Does the plight of the laity not prick their conscience, or do they have a conscience at all? I keep wondering. If it does, if they indeed do have a conscience, do they think that seasonal subsidies will ameliorate the plight of this laity? No, obviously not. What is the remedy then? There's no dearth of the cream agriculturists in this country and beyond who can offer great suggestions at great rates. Till such people till such enlightened, till such great people enter the scene and offer their nuggets of wisdom, how about conducting regular, no nonsense market monitoring, taking stringent action against black marketeers and food adulterers, imposing tougher restrictions on development of real estate and fertile farmlands, promoting indigenous crops throughout the country and not only during the festivities, of course, encouraging working age population, encouraging working age population to toil it out, encouraging working age population to toil it out in their farmlands instead of leaving the country for dirty, difficult, dangerous jobs, making sure that middlemen do not end up fleecing both food growers and consumers and curbing food imports, of course. And how about leaving modern farms like social media platforms for a while, unless you are making a fortune out of it? How about pressing the platforms to abide by the law of the land if they are not already, if they are not paying taxes to the government? For example, how about making them pay the taxes through like public pressure at the least? While they earn big, while these social media platforms earn big within our national jurisdictions, they have tax obligations too, haven't they? Don't they? In the end, let's hope that the foggy mindset, the Mati Bhram I was talking about, which may get worse, by the way, with a virtual ban on all manners of criticism following restrictions on social media and singing of pains through subdued and subjugated media, state sponsored or otherwise. Let's hope that this foggy mindset, induced by a ban on all sorts of social media and a state controlled media that just sings the glory of political leadership and bureaucracy. This ban on social media and a media that sings the glory of political leadership, they are hangers on and bureaucrats. This will further aggravate this state of mind, this foggy mindset. Let's hope that this foggy mindset goes and diamond hard craniums devoid of light for decades illuminate, ushering the country into a new dawn. After all, hope is our best bet. After all, hope is our only bet, isn't it? With this remark, I wrap up this edition of Soft Talk. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.